All right, so I hope everyone's doing well. And throughout the session, if you feel like I'm going too fast or if you're not able to understand anything, please feel free to stop me, interrupt me, and ask your question. I will be happy to answer your questions. So let's begin. So today's agenda is tips to improve your financial saving habits. Again, my name is Sayed Mohyuddin. I am going to be your host and presenter today. Now, discussing about today's agendas, we are going to learn about basics of budgeting, money management, following rule, the following different rules that are 50-30-20 and 24-20. And lastly, we are going to discuss about reviewing and evaluating yourself. Little bit of introduction about myself. My name is Sayed Mohyuddin. As I mentioned earlier, I am an industry leading expert on recruitment and HR management. I have done this for more than 10 years now. I have hired people in various different countries across the world. That includes North America, both US, Canada, as well as in Mexico, a lot of different countries in South America, United Kingdom, India, and Australia as well. Over the years, I was able to climb the corporate ladder from being a junior recruiter or junior HR to the head of HR management and head of operations for a reputed company in Hyderabad. So the goal of today's webinar is to give you an understanding of how common your situation is. If you're struggling with inefficient or insufficient savings, understand that you're not alone. A lot of people face this problem. Almost everyone face this kind of issues. Next, we will outline the benefits and process of creating a spending plan, and we will discuss about your financial priorities, your goals, and steps on how to achieve them. So let's jump into it. The first chapter, that is budgeting basics. So these are some of the basics that you might already be familiar with, but let's just go into it. So spending plan, why we should have a spending plan. Okay, it help you stretch your every rupee that you have in your bank account and get the most out of your money. It helps you work toward your goal with amount that amount of income that you have. Okay, become more aware of your spending habits so that you can be more self-aware about your spending habits and gain a control over it. And how to set aside a little bit of money for each month for your savings, for your emergency fund, or for your vacation plans or something that you're looking forward to. So let's first discuss about building a spending plan. A good spending plan will help you to compare your income to your debts and your expenses, the amount of money that you're earning, and comparing that with the amount of money that you're spending and the amount of money you're spending on your debts. So first, income, it's obvious. Okay, income is the money that you earn as your wages or your salary or your profits or from any other earnings. Okay, debt, obviously debts are the money that you owe and you need to repay. This include the money that you borrow from credit line as well. It might be through a credit card or through a credit app or through any different line of credit. Expenses, obviously the money that you pay for things, the money that you spend in exchange to get some goods or to get some services. These are all your expenses. Now, comparing your income with your expenses. Ideally, you want to end up with more income than your expenses. Obviously, you cannot have more expenditure compared to your income. Then you're going in negative. It means you're losing money. It means obviously you're gaining debt. You're borrowing money from somewhere else if your expenses are higher than your income. So ideally, you would want to have your income to be higher than your expenses. In real life, it doesn't always work out that way, obviously, because a lot of time we have some medical emergencies or family emergencies or something that we immediately need to purchase that is highly necessary, and eventually that will push you in the direction of death. You start owing people money, you start owing banks money, you start owing credit card company money, you start owing credit companies or finance fintech apps money. Fintech are the boom these days, but trust me, those are the apps that are pushing you into this darker area of finances where you owe a lot of money to a lot of different entities. Now, if you're in debt and your expenses are more than your income, I need you to stop panicking, and I need you to assess your finances properly. Take a look at these three things. See what you can do. Either try to increase your income. Well, there are multiple different ways of increasing income. You can ask for a raise at your current job. You can look for a different job that can pay you better. You can look for a secondary part-time job or a weekend job that can help you increase your income. Point number two is reduce your expenses. If you're not able to increase your income, then you have to reduce your expenses. Look into the details. What are the things that are not absolutely necessity for you, which is not considered to be, hey, Yagarmil.
I just want to, just one thing is like we are talking about this concept of increasing income. And who's your audience? Means who's your target? Who's the people that should follow your advice? Like what kind of income range or what kind of people who work? And just I want to so that I can apply the same theory to the like assessing the case.
Exactly. So right now we are discussing on average. So it does not, it is not for any particular age group or, salary group. A person can be dead even with a 25 lakh salary. A person can be dead with just a minuscule salary, which is about just 6 lakh a year. It applies to everyone. So right now I'm talking to general population, everyone included. It's not hard, especially targeted towards students or young adults or mature adults. I'm talking to generally to everyone who are facing challenges managing their finances.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Thanks. Thank you.
Right. So as I said, the point number one that you can look into is to increase your income or reduce your expenses, or try to do both. My recommendation will be try to do both. Try to increase your income and try to reduce your expenses at the same time. Now, let's talk about financial priorities. How do you set priorities on your finances? Now, there are a lot of different ways where you can spend your money. Uh, and you can decide whether these are necessities for you or these are just extra expenditures for you. These are the three questions that can really help you understand what are your priorities. Let's imagine you just want 50,000 rupees. 50,000 rupees is a good amount, but it's not a very huge amount. It's not going to change your life overnight. 50,000 rupees, you just won this lottery out of nowhere. Try to think what is the first thing that you're going to do with that 50,000 rupees. Are you going to go and treat yourself? Are you going to go buy a laptop, a cell phone, or something for yourself? Or are you looking to pay off some of your debt? Maybe your credit card, or maybe your, you know, bill of one of your dues, dues on one of your bills, or maybe some cash app or something. If you're looking to pay your debts, then that is your priority. You need to close your debt as soon as possible. That was question number two. Question number one. Now, question number two. Imagine that you have been laid off from your job. Now, I must make a major cut in spending. What is the first thing that you will disconnect from your life? What is the first thing that you will stop spending money on? That is your point number two. Number three, I would like me to spend more money on Dash and less money on Dash. Try to think these three questions. Try to ask these three questions to yourself. And this can help you prioritize your finances. Spending your 50,000 lottery on debts mean you need to clear your debts as soon as possible. That should be your priority. Cutting a service, cutting an expense, if you lose your job today, again, that is something that you need to cut now before you lose your job, before you stop making money. That is something that is not necessary for you. And lastly, think hard about what you want to spend more on and what you want to spend less on. For me, for example, I would like to spend more money on my investments. I spend a good amount, but I want to spend even better on my investment. And I think I want to cut down on my subscription services, all the subscription services that I use, Apple Music, all the OTT platforms. I don't think I use them on day-to-day basis, and I don't feel like they're absolutely necessary for me. Maybe I'll just cut down from, I've got multiple subscriptions right now, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify. Realistically, I don't need all three of them, right? I just need to spend less money on those subscription. I can use Amazon Music. It gives me Amazon Prime along with that as well. That will be that will be a smart decision from my end. So try to think long and hard. Where do you want to spend more of your money, and where do you want to cut down and spend less amount of money? So these three questions can help you prioritize. Next, make use of online apps and online calculators. Don't shy away from using different apps on your phone or online calculators, which are available in abundance on various different websites. Now, the most common app, obviously, that you should be using is a bank app. No matter what bank account you have, you should be using that bank account, that bank's app to track your spending. A lot of bank apps provide analyzers, spend analyzers. They will let you know how much money you have spent in last 2 weeks or 30 days or 45 days or 60 days on entertainment, on food, on shopping, on bills, etc. A lot of app does that. Try to utilize those features. Use a lot of budgeting app. You will find tons of budgeting apps both on App Store and on Play Store. Use those apps to monitor your expenses every time you purchase something, time you spend even a single rupee from your pocket. Make a note of that in your budgeting app. Investment app, obviously you should be having a lot of investment apps in your cell phone that can help you guide you towards making smart decision for your investment. That can definitely help you save. Doesn't matter if you're just investing 500 rupees or 5 lakh rupees or 50 lakh rupees. Always try to stay up to date with your current knowledge, especially with the market. Online budget calculators, there are tons of calculators in the market. You just have to Google them and you will find them that can help you create your customized budget that you can utilize on your upcoming months. So try to use these apps. Whichever bank account that you might have, use the bank app to track, to use the spend analyzer on that. Budgeting app to help monitor your expenses. Investment app, and I'm not just talking about apps like where you are going to deposit money. I'm talking about apps like which are going to keep you up to date on current news about the market trends, etc. Stay up to date and use online calculators to help you. Next, start saving for your financial goals. It's easier said than done. It's a lot easy to advise someone, hey, just start saving money. It's a lot easier said than done. So here are the tips that you can use to start saving money. Save money for your financial goals can be done from several different forms. Okay. You have different types of savings like short-term savings, which are anywhere from 6 months to 5 years. Maybe you're saving it for a gadget, maybe for a new smartphone, new iPad, laptop, or a car, or for a vacation. Depends on your personal choices. So short-term savings. It can be anywhere from 6 months to 5 years. Then you have long-term savings. These are usually the saving plan that you will be utilizing them for more than 5 years. Generally, for most people use these kind of saving plans for to purchase their house, or to, you know, save down payment for their first house, first home, or for their child's education. 20 years from now, the inflation is going to cut up, and it's going to be highly expensive to give your child a proper education. Obviously, you need to start saving now. So a lot of people use long-term savings plans for either to get to buy a house, or to at least save for the down payment of a house, or for their children's education. O- Or they can use for multiple different things, including these three. Last type of saving is retirement saving. Obviously, you don't want to work throughout your life until the day you die. You want to set up a retirement plan. You need to put in a plan from the government's end, or utilize different different schemes that a lot of different banks offer. Next thing that you want to save is for emergency funds. So just saving money for your goals is not enough. You need to have emergency funds as well. Now, why do you need emergency fund? Maybe something unexpected happened. You got into an accident, or something got lost or stolen from you, or for your medical expenses you suddenly fell ill. Okay, we cannot predict these emergency. It can happen to anyone at any point of their life. So always have emergency funds. Now, generally, to set up an emergency fund, work on saving an amount equal to 1 month spending of housing, utility, food, transportation, and other regular expenses. So the amount that you pay for your rent, the amount that you pay for your bills, the amount that is necessary for your food for the month, for transportation, maybe for fuel or for public transportation, whatever you use, and your regular expenses, which you cannot control. Try to save that money. You should have at least 1 month of your savings for emergency fund. That should cover 1 month of all your housing, rent, bills, etc., everything. Generally, people save about 1% of their salary, at least 1% of their salary every month towards their emergency fund. My personal recommendation will be to at least save for 3 months of your personal expenses in emergency fund. That should cover for 3 months of your rent, 3 months of your food, 3 months of your bills and utilities, 3 months of your transportation. Given the job market today, it's a lot like a lottery these days. If you lose your position, you can get a new job within a day, within a week, within a month. It can go up to a quarter as well, depending on the kind of skills that you have, depending on the experience that you have, depending on depending on the field that you're in. It matters a lot. As I've been in HR management for last 10 years, I can see people struggling to get an ideal position for themselves. And I don't want you to join a position just for the sake of money. So that is why emergency funds are important. And that is why I personally recommend to save at least 3 months of your emergency funds that can cover for at least 3 months for you, so that you can look for an ideal position where you can be satisfied, not just working for the sake of money, but you have some sort of job satisfaction. Now, again, financial experts recommend keeping 3 to 6 months worth of your basic monthly income or basic living expenses in emergency fund. Okay. It takes most people several years to build their emergency fund. So don't feel that how are you going to do it within a day? It can take a lot of time, but work towards it. Baby steps, take baby steps towards it, and start building your emergency funds. Now, when you have the money to fall back on, when you have your emergency funds, you have your savings set, you have a lot less stress. You're not worried about your job security. You're not worried about unforeseen emergencies or illnesses or accidents or loss of work or being unemployed. You will be living in a stress-free environment, at least financially. And anytime, even if these emergencies don't come up, if you fall short of money at any given point of your life, you can utilize some portion. And I will never recommend using your entire emergency fund, but maybe some portion, 10%, 20%, or at max 25% of your emergency fund to make that one-time payment. Or you can use a portion of your emergency funds or your savings combined, not the entire again, just a combined portion, maybe 20% from your emergency, 20% of your savings to buy a car or make some house repairs or take care of medical expenses or something. But these funds can definitely help you. Now, you can select the best service provider, mechanic, and other help needed rather than relying on high interest credit. So let's say you had to get something repaired, you had to get your car repaired. You don't have to borrow money again, you don't have to take credit from any app or from your credit card. That will attract high interest rates. So you can use your emergency funds or your small portion of your savings to get those repairs done, whether it might be for your car, for your house, or anything. So that is why saving a little bit of amount and saving emergency funds are important. But again, as I said, it's easier said than done. So we will talk about various different tips as well. So imagine a scenario. What if your income suddenly drops? Sometimes on household income drops suddenly because of job layoffs, or maybe because of an illness or death or divorce. It's natural to feel shocked or panic or to just ignore the situation. But generally, whatever the cause is, the best thing you can do is to figure out if your new income covers all your current expenses. And the sooner you look at your household budget, the more options you have and the better off you will be in the long run. It lets your creditors know about your financial situation, and some of your creditors may be willing to work with you during a rough patch of your life. And if you're being honest with them and contact them before you miss any payment, they can really help you out as well. And talk with your family and friends, okay, about your stressful situation and the changes that can help you. They can help you, that might help you who with your sudden loss of income. So keep these points in mind. Next, now let's talk about how to find the money that will help you meet your financial goals. First thing you need to ask yourself, are you happy with where your money is going? Track your spending, okay? Tracking your spending will help you to be more aware of your spending habits and change a few habits that can result in big savings. Look at your spending and give a genuine answer to yourself. Are you happy where your money is going? Track each and every expenditure that you made. Now, it's very hard for anyone to go back and think for last 3 months, last 6 months. Just think for last week. What have you done in last week? Where have you spent your money in last 1 week or maybe 2 weeks? It's not that hard to think about last 2 weeks. Track each and every rupee. Where did it went? And then decide, did you spend that money wisely or did you just waste it? Have you just wasted that money? Now, small changes add up over time. Even the smallest saving can help you. It has to be consistent. Okay, let's imagine a person, instead of bringing their lunch from home, which is approximately going to cost them about 75 to 100 rupees per head in a household. Instead of bringing that lunch from their home, they opt out to order that lunch from online delivery apps. Generally, they will be spending at least 250 rupees, because most of these apps have minimum spending limit, that is 150 rupees or 200, depending on what app you're using. And in general, on average, a person will be spending at least 250 rupees while ordering a lunch. Okay, now imagine this person orders lunch like 10 times a month. That person will be spending up to 30,000 rupees a year uh, by just ordering lunch, instead of getting that lunch from home, bringing a tiffin box or something. Even small changes can help you a lot. Instead of ordering online every time that you feel convenient, try to save that money. It can add up to a big amount. In 3 years, you will be able to save 90,000. You can use that 90,000 maybe for a mini vacation to Thailand, to Maldives, or somewhere. 90,000 is more than enough for a vacation on Thailand, 3-day vacation on to Thailand. So try to think about it. Small changes do help. Now, we are going to talk about three big things: find, think back, and include. That means find your spending leaks. Where is your money leaking? Think back. If you're finding it hard to cut your spending, think back over last 2 weeks and try to remember what you spent your money on. And include how much the item cost and how many times in a month do you usually buy that item, and multiply that monthly amount by 12 to see how much you're spending on a small item on yearly basis. So for example, let's take an example of eating outside, going for a family dinner or something. Easily it'll cost you at least 800 rupees for a family dinner. That's minimum. Okay, for a very basic dinner. If you go a little bit fancy, it can cost you up to 3,000, 3,500. But let's talk about minimum. You went to the cheapest restaurant just with your wife or your spouse, your husband, and two of you ate the cheapest meal. It's still easily going to cost you 800 rupees. And let's say you do that every weekend, so 4 times a month. That's spending 3,200 rupees a month. And if you take that multiply by 12 for a year, you're spending 38,400 rupees a year. Now again, 800 rupees spending at once does not seem like a huge amount, but when it adds up to a huge amount. You are spending. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be going out to eat, but really evaluate. Do you really need to go eat? Do you have enough money to spend? If not, then I would suggest try to reduce this to once or twice a month. It will make a huge difference. Now, here are some ideas on saving money as well. Make adjustment to the purchase you still make. When you're thinking about saving, and think of an item that and you bought, answer these following questions for yourself. Do you really need this? Can I buy it cheaper somewhere? Can I make it last longer? Can I use it less? Ask yourself these questions. Do you really need that item? Can you buy it cheaper somewhere? Don't just buy online. Look for your options. Maybe at a retail store, you're able to get better discount. Always try to go for that. How can you make this item last longer? So for example, the most common item that we all use these days is a smartphone. Think about the ways how can you make your smartphone last longer instead of buying or upgrading to a new smartphone every year. Try to last your current phone longer. That will be helping you a lot in saving. And how can I use it less so that the quality of it stays remain? Now, A paisa saved, every paisa is important. It's not just about rupees, it's about the smallest amount. Saving money is not always an easy process, and it will take time to build your savings account. You may feel like you are only cutting nickels and dimes off your expenses, maybe meaning you're just saving chiller of your of your salary. But even the small changes can help you save better. However, each change you make to to your buying habits and to your lifestyle will make a big difference in your spending plan, in your savings account, and in your financial future. So even the smallest change can help a lot. Share your goals. Sharing your goals is a great way to help you achieve them. Okay, if you hide what you're trying to accomplish, others won't be able to help you at all. Share your goals with your family, with your friends, who can help you set those goals and who can help you make sure you stay on track so that you can achieve your goals. If you're having trouble setting your goals, talk to your family. Tell them about your current financial situation. Tell them about your goals and ask them for help. They will always help you. Now, this brings us to our second chapter. That is money management. Ideas to use. Okay. So pay yourself a weekly amount for spending money. Instead of keeping your entire money in one bank account or taking out the cash and keeping that in your pocket, focus on building a weekly plan where you will be paying yourself a set amount per week that you're going to spend within that week. So let's say you have set an amount of 10,000 rupees per week. Withdraw only 10,000, keep only 10,000. And again, 10,000 is just a number. Let's say instead of 10,000, you kept it as 5,000 or 3,000, depending on your income, depending on your needs. Just withdraw that amount and try to cover your week with that amount only. Pay your rents and bills as soon as you get your salary. As soon as you get your income, pay all of your rent, pay all of your bills, pay all of your loans so that you can have clear picture of how much money you have left to spend for the entire month. Try to use meal cards or separate debit card to plan your ration and your food cost. Okay, you can buy a lot of meal cards like Sodexo or something. That that should be prepaid again. That should be prepaid, not postpaid. Try to utilize prepaid cards. If not, try to keep a separate debit card where you're going to put money that is only going to be for your ration and your food. You're not going to spend that money on anything else, and you're not going to waste your money on anything else, only for your ration and food. Save each day, even the loose change, to make your weekend fun. Any change that you can save from your weekly payment or anything, use that money to party over the weekend. Don't take out a different budget for the weekend. Now, use prepaid instead of postpaid everywhere, whether it might be your phone, your internet subscription, your OTT subscriptions, anything that you might be using. Use prepaid. Don't use postpaid because a lot of time you might use more than what you need and you might be paying a bigger amount in your bill. So try to use prepaid so that you can control your usage. Now, creating a budget to meet your goals. Estimate your income versus expenses, obviously. Estimate future expenses. Factors in change, meaning make sure to you constantly make changes based on your new situation and the condition that will change your expenses in future, as well as set money aside to meet your goals. Make adjustments as needed. It's not like you're going to write a something and you have to blindly follow something. It's life. You will have different situation, different day. It's going to be, you're going to face different situations. So be flexible. Make sure your plan, your budget plan is flexible, uh, based on future changes or future situations or conditions. Next, bill payment and fund transfer. Now, option to have all the bills automatically paid. Why? Because a lot of time different apps like Paytm or something will offer you benefits for opting out for automatic payment. They will give you some sort of cashback or some point that you can utilize. So try to utilize those automatic payment only if they are benefiting you. Look for student discount. If you're a student, look for a student discount. A lot of companies offer a student discount. Again, companies even like Apple offer student discount, and it does not matter what kind of student. As long as you have a student ID card, you can get a discount on their laptops, their iPads, their iPhones. Look for offers. Don't just start buying things. Wait for the offers. Look for offers. And when you feel like you got the most suitable offer, then purchase. Do the purchase. Next, transfer funds to a student loan from your parents' account. Meaning, if you're still paying your student loan and you're paying it from your parents' accounts, it's wise to transfer that amount to your student account so that you can get better interest rate and so that your EMI will not get bounced. And lastly, be frugal. There's no shame in being frugal. It's your money. You have to decide how you spend it. You don't have to show off just because your friends are doing it. You don't have to do it just because some of your family members are doing it. It's your money, it's your life. At the end of the day, if something happens, it's you who's going to be responsible. No one is going to come and help you. So be frugal. There's no shame in being frugal. Next, statements. Always make use of your statements. By statements, I mean your bank statements. Get an accurate financial record every month. Okay, this will help you. Getting a bank statement will help you deter from frauds and identity theft. So any unauthorized deduction from your bank account, you can clearly see that in your bank statement. View past statements and spending habits. So don't just look at your current statement, look at your previous month, a month before that, 6 months ago. How were you spending your money? Track that. A lot of time looking at your statements online is very eco-friendly, and it also helps you keep a good record keeping. And start, it will help you start with your accurate balance checks. Okay, and then when possible, review your account daily. It means try to review your account, try to review your spend expenses daily. How much are you spending from your bank account? Next, the online statement. Okay, reconcile the online statement against the spent. Don't just look at the statement, look at the statement and verify that with your expenses. Think about those expenses, make sure everything adds up, and then decide which of those expenses were not important or not useful. Understand your credit. What is your credit score? Understand that. Everything you do with your credit accounts affect your credit score, including your car and school loan. Anything that you do with your credit, that affects your credit score. Creditors extend credit to credit-worthy people, meaning they love giving loans to people who have good credit. So if you have a bad credit score, it's going to be very hard for you to get any kind of loan. Maybe it might be a personal loan or home loan, or it might be a car loan, anything that you might need. When you pay your bills on time, you're proving yourself as a good credit worthy. It means when you're paying your bills, your EMIs on time, it is a proof that you're a good credit holder. Bank rewards good customers with lower interest rate, okay, on loans and higher credit line. Means if you have a good credit score, you can get a bigger amount of loan for you, maybe for your home or something, at a lower interest rate. Employers may also check your credit score. A bad credit score can result in fewer job offers or even layoffs. A lot of companies, especially fintech companies, are checking your credit score. And if you have a bad credit score, they consider you as a liability and they might rescind your offer as well. Knowing your limits. Don't get in over your head. A credit card is a loan. A credit card is not a spending machine. It's not just a card. It's a loan. Think about that carefully before spending money from your credit card. Anything not paid back in full is assessed an interest charge. Meaning, let's say you have spent 50,000 on your credit card and you have only paid back 45,000. Remaining 5,000 will be subjected to additional interest charge. So if you're not able to pay it in full, don't spend it on your credit card. There are predetermined credit limits and money spent can be paid back in full or in installments. So now keep in mind, if you take use your credit limit, then you need to pay either in full or in installment, but you need to pay them back. And when you're paying them in interest installment, you will attract a lot of interest as well. Understanding interest rates. Non-installment credit, meaning these are your regular credits you might have borrowed from someone, or this is from a 30 days charge account. Maybe you borrowed money from an app where you have to pay back within 30 days, or from a travel or entertainment card. Usually these cards will give you a small amount of money only for 30 days, and within 30 days you will have to pay your money back. And again, usually these cards or these kind of loans will attract huge amount of interest. Installment credit. Now these are your EMIs. Installment credits are your EMIs, whether it might be for car loan, student loan, home loan, personal loan, or anything. Or when you buy a furniture on EMI, anything that you buy on EMI, these are known as installment credits. Lastly, what are your revolving credits? Department store cards, like some store like Chroma store from Tata or Bajaj store, they give their own cards as well from to purchase in their store. Okay, and those are revolving credits. Or credit cards like your Visa and MasterCard. Again, these are also revolving credits because you pay money and then you can use money. But again, try to avoid getting trapped into revolving credits. Now, advantages and disadvantages of credit, offers and options. Okay, so it's not like credit card is completely bad. There are some advantages, like it's convenient to buy things on credit card. It gives you immediate purchasing power. You don't need to carry cash around. All the bills can be consolidated using credit card, and zero liability on fraud. If there is a fraud that happens on credit card, the bank will take the responsibility. But remember these things. These are the disadvantages. Even though it's convenient, it's a loan. Even though you might be able to, you might get immediate purchasing power, the interest rate will always go up on credit card. Now, you don't need to carry cash when you're using credit card, but credit card may include additional fees as well. And I'm not just talking about interest rate. Apart from interest rate, there might be swiping charges, there might be, no cost charges, different kinds of charges. Credit card will charge you in different ways. They will always find different ways to charge you. You can easily overspend on credit card, more money than you have. You can promote impulse buying. This is one of the biggest disadvantage of having a credit card. You can promote impulse buying within yourself, meaning buying without thinking. As soon as you see something, you feel like, oh, I need to purchase this, and you will start purchasing that using your credit card. So Keep in mind, credit card does have some advantages, but it has a lot of disadvantages as well. So always be very careful with your credit card. Not wasting your money on credit card is one of the biggest way of saving your money. Now, things to look for in a credit card. So let's say you're getting a credit card. As I said, it's not all bad. Keep in mind, you will be paying a higher APR, that is annual percentage rate for cash advance that you do for purchase. Compare different credit cards. If you need to take cash advance, different credit cards will offer different annual interest rates. So compare that before deciding which credit card that you want to get. Use the APR to help you compare the cost of different cards. Again, as I said, compare different cards because each card will have a different annual percentage rate for cash advance when you withdraw cash. All the fees that are on top of interest you might have to pay. So different credit cards have different fees. EMI conversion, some credit cards have EMI conversion charges. So look into that. And how much is the EMI conversion charge? Even if it's a no cost EMI, still the credit card is going to charge you the conversion charge. Interest is aside. They will charge you for conversion, they will charge you for GST, annual subscription, this and that. So look for all the things that a credit card might charge you and try to pick up a card with least amount of fees. Annual fee occur whether or not you use your card. Now, most credit cards will charge you on annual basis for the annual fee, whether you use your credit card or not. Some credit cards advertise that they have zero annual fee, but you look into their terms of condition, they usually have a limit of 50,000 or 1 lakh. If you spend more than 50,000, if you spend more than 1 lakh, then we are not going to charge you your annual fee. They are trapping you to purchase more, spend more money. So annual fee will be there for credit card. Keep an eye out for that. Similarly, let's compare debit card. So we have seen credit card. Now let's talk about debit card. Debit card can be used as an ATM card to withdraw your money, obviously. It looks like a credit card, but keep in mind it's not a loan. It does not have any interest. When you purchase something from a credit card, it is a loan and you will have interest. But when you purchase using a debit card, you will be spending your own money, yes, but it's not a loan. You will not have to pay interest on that. Backed only by the savings account behind it, meaning you can only spend how much money you have in your account. It is widely accepted, can be a good budgeting tool, meaning it can be used almost in every place these days. When to use a debit card? Use your debit card for everyday expenses like groceries or gas or petrol or movie theaters and restaurants. Use your debit card over there. Why? So that you can track your expenses in your bank app. See how much money you have spent on groceries, how much spend you have spent on gas, on movie theaters, on restaurant, on fuel, etc. When you need cash but not near an ATM, many retailers offer cash back after purchase. A lot of retail shops, I'm not talking about online stores, I'm talking about retail shops or stores, offer offer cash back for buying using a debit card, not a credit card. Always keep receipts. Maintain those receipts so that you can compare and analyze with your bank statement. Record transaction in your check register, including fees to avoid overdraft charges. So make sure you record your transaction so that you don't overdraft from your account. And there will be overdraft charges as well. Some bank accounts do provide overdraft facility, meaning spending a little bit more than what you have in your bank account. Now, let's discuss about UPI versus cash. UPI is the most common method of spending today. Now, UPI is much more convenient than cash these days. That is true. UPI is much more convenient. But what are the disadvantages of UPI? UPI can promote overspending. You will be spending a lot more money if while spending it through UPI. A recent study has shown that people are spending 50% more than what they used to because of UPI. Let's say before UPI, your monthly expenses were just 5,000 rupees. Now, currently, even after inflation and all, because of UPI, you're spending up to 50% more, meaning from 5,000, you went to 7,500 because there is one big reason. You don't see the remaining balance while spending on UPI. One of the biggest reason why you start overspending on UPI is because when you spend money using UPI, when you purchase something using UPI, you will get the message from your bank app saying that this much amount has been spent. But that message will never tell you how much amount is remaining in your bank account. But when you do the same thing using your credit card or your debit card, in that SMS, they will show you how much money you have spent and how much money or credit you have remaining. That one thing can help you control your spending. Psychologically speaking, cash spend will control your unnecessary purchase. So spending in cash can help you psychologically control your self from spending, overspending, and at the same time spending money on unnecessary things. So UPI is very convenient. UPI is available almost everywhere these days, but UPI is making you spend more money. Keep that in mind. Now, chapter 3, following 50, 30, 20 and 20, 10, 4 rules. Now, what is 50, 30, 20 budgeting? It is one of the most famous rules these days to save your money. The 50, 30, 20 rule is a popular budgeting method that splits your monthly income among three major categories. And here you can how you can break down. You will break down your income in three different categories that will be 50, 30, and 20. So now let's talk about your monthly after tax income. Before you start building your 50, 30, and 20, first let's talk about your income. So take your gross income and remove your income tax. Now, when you remove your income tax, you will be left with your net income. Now, don't take out the insurance, the PF, or any other deductions from your salary. Take that in full, and the remaining amount, the lump sum amount that you have after taxes, is the amount that you're going to use in this rule: 50, 30, and 20. Now, first 50% of your income you will utilize like this: for your needs. Necessities are the expenses you can't avoid. This portion of your budget should cover the required costs such as your housing or your rent, your food, your transportation, your basic utilities or bills, your insurances, your minimum loan payment. Anything beyond your minimum loan payment should go to your savings and debt, and your childcare or any other expenses that you need to cover, which are absolutely mandatory. So within your 50% of your income, you should be covering your needs. If it's exceeding your 50% of your income, you need to either look for better salary, or you need to start cutting down your expenses. 30% of your income should go to your wants, which is sometimes hard to distinguish between needs and wants. But keep in mind, needs are something that you cannot live without, and wants are something that you can easily live without. Now, most common types of wants are monthly subscriptions, maybe your OTTs or something, your travels, unnecessary travels, entertainment or movies or meals, eating outside, etc. All these are considered as wants. Now, I'm not saying that you should not want things. You should use your 30% of income for your wants. So your monthly subscriptions, your travel plans, your entertainment, going to a movie or eating outside, having a dinner outside, all these things should cover within 30%. Again, if they're exceeding 30%, then your wants are exceeding. You should cut down on your wants because these are not necessary things. Lastly, your 20% of your income should go to your savings and debts. So if you are a kind of a person where you have a lot of debt, where you owe a lot of money in loans on or to people, every month you should keep aside 20 remaining 20% of your income to repay all that loans, to repay all that debt. And as soon as you're done with your loans, focus on your savings. So every month you should be saving 20% of your salary. Now, how exactly to use this part of your budget depends on your situation, but usually it will likely include starting and growing your emergency fund, obviously saving for retirement through retirement plans, and perhaps an individual retirement account, or paying off your debt beginning with high interest accounts like credit cards. So if you have a lot of credit card bills, focus your 20% on that. Now let's talk about the final rule, that is 24/20 rule for a car. So let's say if you want to purchase a car, especially for a middle class person, purchasing a car is the second biggest expense they will do throughout their life. Now, this rule can help you suggest an affordable car for you if you meet these three following requirements. Only think about purchasing a car if you can meet these three requirements. You can make 20% of the down payment of the car that you're purchasing. You can take out a car loan with a term of 4 years or less than 4 years. It should not exceed 4 years. You can have total transportation cost, not just your car loan, but all the expenses related to your car that should be done within the 20% of your monthly income. Now, think about this scenario. This is a hypothetical scenario. Imagine you want to uh, purchase a car that cost 8 lakh rupees. Okay, now calculate 20% of it. You need to make the down payment. That will be 1 lakh 60,000. Do you have 1 lakh 60,000 rupees right now to make the down payment? That is the first criteria. Yes. Then go to the second point. Now that will leave you with 6 lakh 40,000 rupees of loan amount. Okay. Now, generally, on an average, a car loan will be for 7.5% on an interest rate. That will give you your monthly EMI for 4 years of 15,624 rupees. See if you can afford that EMI. Lastly, this is how you will calculate your expenses or calculate your overall transportation cost. Let's say insurance that is going to cost you 7,000 rupees per year. On monthly basis, it's going to be 583 rupees. Maintenance cost, let's say 25,000 rupees per year is the maintenance cost. Then monthly expense will be of 2,083 rupees. Tax and fees, that is for 1,500 rupees per year, depending on what car that you have. But on an average, let's say 1,500 rupees per year. Then the monthly fee will be for 125 rupees. And let's say per month you use 10 liters of petrol, that will be or approximately 1,090 rupees, but based on your state, which state that you're living in. And lastly, your loan amount, that is 15,624 rupees per month. Add all these expenses together. And these are the results that you will get. Based on this estimated information, the cost of ownership per month would on an average will be 19,504 rupees. Now for this vehicle, according to 24/20 rule, you should be able to make the 20% down payment, that is 1 lakh 60,000 rupees, or 1 lakh 60,000 rupees as a down payment. You took a loan for 4 years, and now when it comes to making the payment, it should be less than 20% of your monthly income. So for 19,504 rupees to be your 20%, then your salary has to be 97,520 rupees. If the expenses are going that high, then your salary must go higher as well. Now, again, this is just a hypothetical situation scenario. Keep in mind, First thing is you should be able to make 20% of the down payment. Second thing is the car loan should not be for more than 4 years. Third thing is whatever the EMI and the remaining expenses are should not be more than 20%. If it is more than 20% of your salary, then look for a cheaper car, look for a cheaper option, look for a cheaper loan, but try to get it under 20,000. This is this is the best way to control your expenses while purchasing or making your second biggest expense of your life. So thank you so much, everyone. This has been a wonderful session, and have a wonderful day.